At Spiel 2023, I happened to come across Expedición a 5X, Expedition to 5X, and I met the people who brought it from Fractal Juegos, a company from Chile, and they were very kind to give me the copy of the game that I have already played, and I am really looking forward to reviewing for you so you can find out if this game is worth the amount of money that you have to pay to get your hands on it. So play we all. Expedition to 5X, after 36 ratings, of which one is not mine yet, it comes at a 7.1 in the boardgame geek. This is a small game for up to 5 players, fitting considering that it is 5X, and it plays in about, I don't know, 30 minutes, give or take. That's how long it took us, a bit longer because we were reading the rules, but not a lot more, to be honest. As you can see, the components are few and very, very simple. We get a scoring block of sheets, some cards, some player cards, few little screens, some drops, and a die. That's it. Setup takes next to no time at all, as I am about to show you. Give each player one of these little screens that they will use to hide the water droplets. These are your technology cards. Set them here and draw 2 cards. They are going to be the active cards. You will not need this block until the very end. Give each player a set of 5 cards and 5 drops of water that must be hidden behind the screen, and you're ready to go. That's it. That is the setup of this game. Of course, these droplets of water need to go where everybody can reach them. The rules are actually very good. They're quite easy to follow. We pretty much got it right away, which, as far as I'm concerned, is a triumph. As you can see, the booklet is clear, the illustrations are absolutely gorgeous, and everything is explained where they should be explained, which is very, very nice. The aim of the game is, of course, to accrue as many points as possible, because you have been you are lost in this planet, and you're meant to be gathering resources, which is the water that you've given to the players, and then gather technology that will help you obtain the gems that you need in order to get out of the planet. And depending on what gems you get, you're going to get more or less points at the end of the game. I will explain all of this in just a second. So the rules, very good. Setup, next to no time. How does it play? Basically, you have 5 cards. Each card is going to allow you to perform one of the X's of the game. 1 is to excavate, 2 is to exploit, 3 is to exterminate, 4 is to explore, and 5 is to expand. Why do we do this? How do we do these things, and why? Why? Because we're going to need to gather resources, try to get some technology, try to fight with people for the resources they already have. This is a very heavy player interaction game. At the beginning of the round, in secret, you're going to choose, each player is going to choose a card and put them on the table upside down so nobody can see what they are. We're going to play them secretly. Once the cards are revealed, they play in order. So number 1, then number 2, 3, 4, and so on and so forth, 1 and 5. Number one is excavate. And what this is going to allow you to do is to get one of the technology cards that are here and look so gorgeous. Okay. The way that you do that is that you take some of these water droplets and then roll the die. If you have more water droplets in your hand than the roll of the die, which can be a maximum of 3, then you take the technology and it belongs to you, and you can start using the advantages that it's going to give you. However, if more than one player plays the same card, then you're going to have to bet for it. You're going to have to take in secret. That's why these droplets need to be behind these rather awkward screens, as many droplets as you want, and then at the same time every player is going to reveal them. The player with more droplets is the player that's going to take the technology card that's available. Although you can see 3 cards, one of them is in the deck. So for as long as it's on the deck, that's not the card that you can choose. You can choose any that have been displayed already, so that have been taken out of the deck. This is one of the little bit annoying thing about this game, and is that the cards, they are identical front and back. This on the one hand helps because you can see what's coming, but then on the other hand it doesn't help because it can get confusing thinking that this card is also available and it is not. So it's something that you have to keep in mind. Number 2 is going to give you resources. If you are the only player playing this card, then you get 4 droplets of water. If you do 2 players, then you get 2 droplets of water. If 3 players play the same card, then each one takes 1 droplet of water. But if 4 players or more play this card, then nobody gets anything. So you have to be careful. You have to remember what all the players have already played, so you can choose when is the optimum time to actually play your cards. Number 3 is to exterminate. With extermination, which I think is a very harsh word, is a fight. So you're going to go to players who have either played number 1 or number 5, and you are going to draw a couple of droplets from them. If more than one player is playing the same card, then only one, and if 3 players or more play the same card, then nobody gets anything. Number 4 allows you to expand, and what that means is that you roll the die and you get as many droplets of water as the die rolls, and next round you will be able to reveal your card or play it from your hand after everyone else has done it. So you can get that little bit of an advantage. Each time you play one of these cards, they get discarded, and you cannot play it again until you play card number 5, which what it does is allow you to take every card that you have already played and take it back into your hand. Samurai Vassal plays pretty much the same, but it does it differently with characters and abilities for different characters. So this is a simplified version of that. It's not something completely new, but it works very well. When you get technology, you can do something interesting with it, because this is going to be what's going to give you the points at the end. Any gem that is surrounded by these laurels will give you points. If they are not surrounded by laurels, no points whatsoever. So what you have to try and do is to get this. For instance, I'm going to take this card. This will come down, and the next turn, ideally, I will take this card here, because I will be able to put on top. And if I do that, then this gem is enclosed in laurels, and that's it. Now there is something to keep in mind though, and is that this technology would allow you to roll every time that you play number 1, roll the die and get that number of water droplets every time anyone plays the card. But on this hand, any time that everybody or anybody plays this card, will give you just 1 water. So if you put it this way, you get this advantage, but if you put it on top, you get the other advantage. And you may be thinking, well, rolling the dice better, isn't it, Paco? Well, not necessarily, because with the dice sometimes you get nothing at all. Two of the faces have nothing, so it is a risk. If you manage to draw another card and take another card, you can start to stack them, and then of course you're going to be getting more points at the end of the game, because at the end of the game you are going to take how many gems you have, and depending on how many gems of each kind you have, you're going to be accumulating points. So the waters you have at the end of, are actually points. The blue, green and purple gems are going to also give you points, and then you put them all together and the player with more points is the winner. That's it. The little screens tell you everything that you need to know for scoring later. However, yes, they are still in Spanish. Hopefully this game will come out in English, and then you will be able to read them as easily as I can. This game is ginormous fun. Seriously, we had a massive amount of fun playing this, because we do love games with a lot of player interaction and to mess up with other players. That's the kind of players that we are. So if you're that kind of player, this is definitely a game for you. As I said, it's a 7.5 in the Board Game Geek, and the comments are varied. There's an awful lot of Spiel 2023. Yeah, okay, great. Bodinesen. There is Logan's Run, who says, gives it just a 1, and says, the designer knows why, no worry. How mysterious is that? But no, from Jens Hope. No, why? Tell me something. This is something. This doesn't help. Why did you give it a 4? This is not fair. And then Tool says, I'm afraid I don't understand the appeal of this at all. Fair. Very fair. It gives it a 5. And it says there's nothing at all going on except allocating water in various ways and be using that water to get the cards, which don't do anything very interesting. Well, that's not strictly true. It does give you a little bit of an advantage, but yeah, I get it. This is a light game. This is not a heavy game. If you're looking for a heavy game, then this is not for you. Okay, simple as that. But if you're looking for a light game, you can play very simply, very quickly, with an awful lot of player interaction and messing with other players. This is absolutely fantastic, and I really love it. Very, very good. Some people giving it a 7. Hiltman gives it impressive. It's like an auction game in which you barely participate in any auction. Okay, fair enough. The auctioning of cards which you place in the most efficient way feels quite refreshed to me too. Only one play on TTS so far, but I can imagine this becoming quite successful, and I hope indeed so that it does, because it's very good. Out of a 10, I would probably give this a solid 7, because it could be made a lot more interesting with expansions, with new technologies, with doing something else, more strategizing. But as it is, it's incredibly solid, very quick to explain, very easy to learn, and very quick to play. And in a box of this size, it comes anytime, anywhere. 3 to 5 players, which is a very good number, and you have a party going. So Expedition to 5X is certainly one that should come into English and that you should take a look for, because it is excellent. If you have already played the game, I would love to hear what you have to say. But in the meantime, thank you very, very much indeed for being there, and I will talk to you very soon indeed. Take care.